Welcome to my Unit C presentation, focused on the first days of school by Harry and Rosemary Wong. This presentation is focused on Unit C, chapters 10 through 17. Chapter 10, Why You Want a Well-Managed Classroom. The success of your students is dependent on your ability as a teacher to implement a classroom management plan. It is important to begin the school year with a clear plan and explain this to students. This is because the classroom management is the single most important factor influencing student success. It's important to remember that management is not discipline, but instead, management consists of the practices and procedures a teacher uses to create and maintain an environment in which instruction and learning take place effectively. Management is based on procedures. Procedures are a routine students do repeatedly without prompting or supervision. The goal as a teacher is fostering student involvement and cooperation in all classroom activities and establishing a productive working environment. Chapter 11, How to Have Your Classroom Ready. Planning is the most important. It's important that you prepare your classroom and have it ready for students every day. Don't overcrowd your room and don't overdecorate. As a teacher, before students enter your room, you should make sure that your room is prepared. This includes preparing your floor spaces, having the room ready to go, including all equipment. Prepare your workspaces for your students. Prepare your wall and what it will look like. Prepare your bookcases and make sure books are organized in a way that is easy and accessible for students. Prepare all teacher areas and prepare yourself. Make sure that you're ready for the moment that students enter your classroom. Chapter 12, How to Introduce Yourself to Students. It's important that you do everything possible to welcome students so they know where to go and how to get there on time. A student finding the right classroom on the first day of school can be a frightening experience. Before school starts, you should send a letter home to parents explaining that you're excited to have their child, explain when open house is taking place, and provide information on the materials needed to be successful in your classroom. You should also send a letter home to students introducing yourself and outlining expectations for them. This will help ease their fears about the first day in your class. If possible and allowed by your school administration, you should try to visit the home of your students before they begin the school year. On top of the introductions, it's important that you greet each student at the door every day. Begin these days by greeting students individually and warmly as they walk through the door. Studies have shown that greeting students at the door has led to an increase in student engagement by up to 32%. As a teacher, you should make sure that your room is ready to go for students as they walk in. And when speaking to your classroom, speak effectively and clearly, use your volume effectively, use nonverbal language effectively, and communicate your control as a teacher effectively. Chapter 13, How to Arrange and Assign Seating. Seating arrangement affects communication, concentration, and cooperation. The purpose of a seating arrangement is to accomplish classroom tasks effectively and efficiently. How you arrange your desks matters. Also, when you're deciding how to arrange the seats in your room, let your lessons determine your seating. To determine the seating arrangement in your classroom, decide what will students be doing? Who's going to communicate with whom? What kind of arrangements are possible within my classroom? And which arrangements will I use? As activities vary, so should the seating arrangement. It's also important that you assign students to their seat on the first day of school and help students find their seat as they walk into the classroom. Chapter 14, How to Start a Class Effectively Each Day. It's important that you get students to work immediately. Wasted time in the classroom allows space for students to be disruptive or off task and then harder to get back on. It's also important that you prepare and post a daily agenda in the same location every day. This agenda should consist of a schedule, an opening assignment, and objectives. The opening assignment should be simple, well thought out, and consistent, as well as posted in the same location every day so that students know when they walk into the room how they are expected to begin. Chapter 15, How to Teach Classroom Procedures. Effective teachers have coherency, continuity, and consistency. Coherency means that everything in the classroom works together in a logical and orderly way. Continuity results when procedures are in place to help things proceed and advance in a logical and orderly manner. Consistency results when procedures are in place to create a stable, predictable environment with logical and ordered learning. By establishing these effective procedures, you will eliminate the need for discipline. Classroom management is the procedures established to create and maintain an optimal learning environment. Effective teachers have planned procedures for organization. These teachers have instructional procedures to maximize engagement. And these teachers also systematically teach and reinforce these procedures. Behavior problems are often the result of a lack of procedures. And students want to know from the very beginning what they are expected to do. These procedures teach students what to do and how. In order for students to learn procedures, the instructor should teach them, rehearse them, and reinforce them. It's okay if students don't understand on the first day exactly what you want them to do, but as you practice and continue to rehearse and reinforce them, eventually students will understand. Procedures should be in place for all aspects of your classroom. Chapter 16: How to Create Consistency in the Classroom. Instructional procedures lay the foundation for learning. These instructional procedures make it possible for students to acquire information and grow as students. It's important that you're proactive. 80% of classroom problems are caused by a teacher not having a plan in place to prevent these problems from occurring. Ineffective teachers will spend the entire year reacting to student behaviors because they jumped too early into the content and didn't spend enough time at the beginning of the year establishing procedures. These effective teachers have procedures to assist in managing the classroom and maximizing learning time. They should be established and followed for every single aspect of learning, all the way down to passing out papers to each other to taking notes. Chapter 17: How to have an effective discipline plan. Discipline is behavior management, not classroom management. A discipline plan has rules, negative consequences, and positive consequences. Rules are what students are expected to follow. Negative consequences are what happens to students if rules are broken, and positive consequences are what students receive for appropriate behavior. Rules are designed to prevent or encourage behavior with clear expectations. There are general rules that encompass a wide range of behaviors, and specific rules that will focus on specific behaviors within the classroom. Rules must have consequences, both positive and negative, but rewards are not necessarily effective in increasing desired behavior. It's also important as a teacher, when rules are in place, to praise students who follow these rules. This creates intrinsic motivation that motivates these students to repeat the behavior. Also, it's important to convey whatever your plan is to the adults at home so that parents are on board.